Okay, Top Hat. Prince William and many of the other members of the royal family attended Royal Ascot, which means this special fashion edition will be lots of fun. It's always one of the most exciting weeks for fashion in general, including the royal family fashion. There are always really extravagant hats, bright, fun spring and summer colors, so I just love it. Let's begin with the clear standout from the week, just the most fashionable lady of the royal family there, and that was Zara. Zara and Mike Tyndall attended a few days, and day one was probably my favorite. Mike looked great all throughout the week in his suits as usual and his top hats. I liked how he matched Zara throughout the week. Here he had a little yellow flower to match her yellow dress, and this dress is my favorite. I would totally wear this whole outfit. It's perfection. I love the pale yellow color, and these sheer sleeves are bringing a lightness that really softens the drama of these big puff sleeves. It really draws the eye to the waist as well, which that definition for her figure does her lots of favors. It really accentuates her figure, and the hat is also really, really pretty here. I love the whole look. Because the sheer section across the top and those puff sleeves really softens the drama of that, it doesn't make it look overwhelming to her or kind of close her in or anything like that. It's really, really nice. And you can also tell that this dress is not only a fabulous fabric on its own, but it's lined with more fabulous fabric. And when you can see those layers of fabric, it's really just a beautiful touch. It adds a lot of gorgeous movement. It adds a lightness and flow to the fabric. It moves more beautifully. And of course, for practical reasons, it will help to hide any sort of, undergarment lines and things like that and smooths out your figure more. So this dress overall is a perfect home run. My next favorite from her was probably day 3, this beautiful light cornflower lilac hued Rebecca Valance dress. It is absolutely beautiful. They look great together here, and I really like this style on Zara. It's a similar style to the yellow one in terms of the silhouette with a puff sleeve. It's nice and fitted throughout the waist. You don't have extra fabric under the bust here. It's nice and fitted, which helps prevent it from looking frumpy, and it also allows the drama from those big puff sleeves to not eat up her figure or overwhelm things. And the fact that this is a monochrome look, there's no other color or texture or pattern taking away from it or competing. It's just the silhouette of those puff sleeves, the fit and flare, and the hat that bring the drama. And with those slightly exaggerated sleeves, it's also further enhancing her waistline, making it look even smaller because she does have enough room. She has a long enough torso and a well-defined enough waist to get away with that trick to enhance her figure. So that's really smart. She looked elegant and chic here. Her earrings, she's wearing like a sort of pearl drop earring here, it looks like a dangly earring. She could have gone with studs as well just as easily because that collar is a little bit heavy there with that braided collar, but it doesn't overwhelm or compete with the earrings she chose either. So I think it's perfect the way it is as well. She also wore this floral dress, which was really nice. I love the buttons on the cuffs. When you've got an extended fitted cuff with those buttons, it's just really nice. It reins in the volume from the sleeve, and it's just a beautiful detail to add that embellishment. And that's an easy to wear embellishment. If you're unsure of how to sort of spice up an outfit or a look and you're not quite sure what to go for in terms of adding interest and embellishment, things along the cuffs and the sleeves is always a safe bet because it's not going to interfere with drawing the eye to your torso or widening you or anything like that. It's an easy place to have a little bit of an extra detail to your look. I think the hat and the shoes for this are perfect. She looks fabulous here, but those other two were just that much more fabulous. So those two were my favorite. But she's really been looking magnificent the last few years in terms of her fashion choices. Her style is elevated. She looks really, really great. And oftentimes it's styles that people might find a little bit more accessible because she's not quite as tall and as Catherine, the Princess of Wales. Coming in at a close second from Royal Ascot in terms of best dressed, Zara was the best dressed. Princess Beatrice is second best dressed from the week. This Zimmermann dress accentuates her figure really nicely. The belt has a bit of an embellishment on it to really control the eye here. The soft ivory and pinks go lovely with her skin tone. I love the headband and the way she styled her hair for this. It's beautiful in every way. She looks fabulous. I love the puff sleeves, all of it. It's just beautiful, flowy, perfect. Sarah Ferguson attended with her on this day and looked really nice. I think sometimes her outfits can lean a bit too tight or not quite as flattering to her figure as she deserves, but this one complements her nicely. It's really nice. The silhouette is classy, it's timeless, the color combination is really nice, and actually brought out the red in her hair in a really beautiful way. She just looks vibrant and beautiful here. It's great. Great choice. The other dress Princess Beatrice wore is just outstanding. This is a striking green Emilia Wickstead floral dress. It almost looks like a jacquard fabric. She paired it with yellow pumps and a yellow hat. Just created a divine look. This is so beautiful. I would also wear this entire look here. The fit of the dress is absolutely perfect for her. It's accentuating her figure, it's complementing her nicely, it's not competing in any way. It's obviously either just happened to fit like a glove off the rack or she had it tailored to her. It is perfection. I personally really like this style of a floral look where it's almost monochrome or just in various shades of the same color. I just really like that. So this dress is just beautiful. I love it. And this color green is so vibrant on her. I never realized how great she looks in these greens. They're beautiful. So this was another look that was just wonderfully stylish. We were off to a great start. Lady Gabriella Kingston also looked beautiful. She attended one of the days. It was really nice to see her there and everybody in her family just rallying around her at this time. This peachy pink hat and floral dress were a really nice choice for her. And it's actually a good example of if you are just looking for one dress to add to your wardrobe that you want to be able to wear with lots of different styles and accessories, this is a great example of a style of dress to go for or pattern to go for because it's got the purples, the greens, the pinks, and nice soft white throughout. But the way the pattern is done, it's easy to pick up on those different colors in your accessories pretty easily. And even if it doesn't match perfectly the shade, like for example, of shoe or bag or hat that you go for, even if it doesn't match perfectly, it still works perfectly with this particular style of dress. So really great option here. And Princess Anne also attended, and while we wish her continued recovery and hope that she gets well soon from her injuries, her outfits were very Princess Anne. She has such a well-defined style for herself, even when it's not something that I particularly love. It's so Anne that it works. She's so no fuss. I just love it. This particular red ensemble looks a little Christmassy to me, but she brightened it up with this gorgeous turquoise hat. It's a color we don't see very often. It's not necessarily the easiest to wear, but it looks great on her. She also wore this grayish purple ensemble here, seated next to Lady Sarah Chatto, both looking fabulous in their own classic styles. They each have good signature style. Lady Sarah looks fabulous in this color, the cut of dress, the hat. It was great. Carol Middleton's self-portrait soft blue dress with a floral print on it was really, really nice. It had sheer sleeves and a nice ribbed skirt to create that flow. It looked really nice on her. I also think she would have looked nice in like a fit and flare silhouette. So I hope she gets to attend more events like this so we can see what style choices she'll be making. The Fascinator was a perfect choice for her as well. It looks lovely on her and it's a really pretty hat, a really pretty style. On Wednesday, Princess Eugenie wore this ivory Gabriella Hearst sweater dress and a pink hat that caused a bit of mischief. The tassel was really fun addition and I like the idea of it, but it was sort of swinging around in her way quite a little bit. And honestly, I would have just done without the tassel or pinned it down so it stayed more still because it just reminds me too much of graduation hats. But I love the style of hat on its own. The color is fabulous. This soft peachy pink is really beautiful. It looks nice with her hair color and skin tone. I love the bow on the back of it. So I like it overall. I just don't love the tassel. The dress itself looks really nice. Now, sweater dresses can be really clingy and a little troublesome to get a nice smooth finish from. And so she clearly did something to get a smooth finish. She could have pushed it one step further by doing both nylons and like a romper or a slip. A shapewear style romper, but again, I'll repeat it every time. You can size up in shapewear so that it's not constricting and tight and squeezing you. In fact, I don't like or recommend the tight, constrictive shapewear at all. It's too much of a pain. It makes you uncomfortable in your clothing. And you can tell. You can tell when somebody's wearing something that's squeezing their body. They look stiff. It feels hard when you go to like hug them or touch them anywhere. You can tell that they're wearing something that's like squeezing them really tight and about to burst and explode. And it just looks stiff and unnatural. But when you size up 2 or 3 sizes, even just 1 size up, so long as the proportions are right and it's still hitting you in the right locations, you can get away with sizing up that much and it's just not tight. It's simply smoothing. And that is what I recommend. Way better than actual shapewear. I don't think we need to be squeezing everything. Anyway, so she could have taken it 1 step further if she wanted even more smooth of a finish, but really what she did here was just fine. She looked polished, she looked nice. I really liked the way the top fits her nicely. It's not frumpy, it's not too big. She did a good job here. However, she had less success when she wore this mint green dress. It just wasn't quite as flattering for her. I give a pass to the wrinkles, probably from the carriage ride or something. This does look like the type of fabric that's going to wrinkle really, really rapidly and easily. So I'm going to give a pass to that. I really love this color on her. It's so beautiful with her hair color. It's so beautiful with her skin tone. It looks really, really nice, this minty green. Love that. And the skirt itself fits her well and is hemmed at a good length for her. But the top half, I just do not like at all. This twist front top is leaving a little extra room under the bust, which is adding a sort of ill-fitting look. It's just a little bit unflattering, unfortunately. I just don't love this twist front, especially paired up with the sleeveless design. It's just not working. It doesn't have enough flow to it. It almost feels like it's a little too high and too much across her neck area here. I don't know. It's just that part of it's not working. But the flower and the hat are really nice too. And again, I love this mint color on her. Sophie Winkleman looked fabulously stylish. She is another really good standout when it comes to fashion. She attended, I think it was day 4. I like this high contrast color scheme, the clean lines. It created a really classy look that was fresh and bright and quite glamorous. Edward and Sophie attended a few days, the Duke and Duchess of Edinburgh, and I really enjoy this exquisite look from Edward here. He looks like he is posing for a magazine to model this outfit. I love all the stylish details. Fun fact, this is his Royal Ascot tie, and I just love it when guys do this. They have a specific tie that they wear each year for the same event when they attend, and this is it. He wears it apparently pretty much every year, at least one time that he attends, he wears it, so I like that. Unfortunately, I don't like Sophie's dress on this day quite as much. I love the hat. I love the way she styled her hair. The bag is great. It's beautiful. All of those things are fine, but the dress itself is just not doing her justice. It's not flattering. It is fashion forward. It's in right now to have these sort of sheer or open stitch overlays with a lining underneath. Sometimes there's no lining underneath on the red carpet, but we like the lining. Keep the lining. But the problem with having the sheer panel or the overlay have a lower hemline than the lining does is it creates a competing element to the eye. You are bouncing between the sheer part on the top and the sheer part on the bottom, and it just creates competition. On top of it, the floral embellishments on here are a texture that stands out, and sheerness already really draws the eye. It's very dominant. You're always going to look to the sheer part first. It's going to catch the eye more. So on top of it having the floral part that's got texture and is sticking out, that also is going to draw the eye more. So it's just a lot going on that's creating a sort of widening and almost frumpy sort of a look. It's a little dowdy, the silhouette. It took away from her waistline, and it just doesn't flatter her. The sleeves aren't fitted and stuff like that because they're that sheer fabric, which you wouldn't really be able to get them super well fitted, but it just didn't quite work, unfortunately. I like the idea of it, and in person it was probably better and looked more interesting and nicer and stuff like that, but it doesn't translate well on camera, and also didn't do her figure justice. On day 3, she opted for this floral dress with a burgundy plum hat, and I really like this hat. It very much complements her skin tone. The dress is pretty also. It's a nice silhouette for her. I really like the sleeve length, and the skirt is quite nice, but my gosh, that plum hat on her proves that that is one of her colors, and we need to see her in more of this color. It's beautiful. Prince William was also there alongside his in-laws. It was really lovely to see him. He looked great. He was happy. That's always nice to see. And it was really charming for him to bring his in-laws along. That was a kind gesture. I liked that. King Charles had a very stylish morning suit on day 1. This sort of lime yellow vest and striped shirt are a very different choice for him. This was a big departure from what King Charles usually goes for. It's really fun. It's perfect for Ascot to do something a little bit more whimsical or playful, so I quite liked it. And he had a blue pocket square and a little pink rose to just really tie in the colors from that striped shirt. On day 4, when he attended, he wore this pop of pink. This was my absolute favorite of his outfits from the week. I love the pink vest here. It's just perfection. He also had this more sort of blue and lavender accents going on day 3, which looked really nice, and it was just great to see him out there enjoying himself. He was chatting with Sophie here. Day 1 for Queen Camilla was this beautiful classic royal blue. It was a very good choice for her. It's a great color for her. She looked fabulous, and you can see why this silhouette is her go-to. It's her uniform. And that's a good thing. It flatters her figure nicely and allows her to play around with color, embellishments, little details, and slight changes in the outfit rather than the whole entire silhouette. She can get more variety and have success in her looks that way rather than trying to play around with lots of different silhouettes. That can get really, really tricky, especially because she's a little bit older, she's a little bit busty. It's like if you find something that works, it doesn't make you look frumpy, it doesn't eat you up and kind of close you in. It looks nice and it works with lots of different occasions and lots of different venues. I say stick with the silhouette that works. There's nothing wrong with that. And we see her explore different patterns and different versions of this same silhouette all the time, and it does still look nice and interesting. It's just the smart way to go about fashion. On day 4, she wore this mint, almost robin's egg blue color, depending on your screen tint. I really like the ruffles on the cuffs. That is a really fun embellishment to add. It's got some detailing and embellishment along the trim as well. The big feathery hat is fabulous. She suits big hats so well for 2 reasons. Firstly, she has the perfect hair for it because she can flip it out under the hat to make the hat not look extreme in compared to if you had your hair like tight in a bun behind you, then the hat looks even more dramatically wide brimmed. So because she can fluff out her hair like that with that bob that she has, it works perfectly. But also it just works for her. She's obviously comfortable wearing them. And if you're not comfortable in a big hat or a little hat, if you're not comfortable in hats, we can tell. The gloves on this day were really nice. I quite liked the detailing on them, but I don't feel like they went with the outfit well enough. I don't think they necessarily went with the color scheme here, but regardless, the outfit itself was fabulous. I think this was day 2. She was back in blue. I absolutely love this shade of blue. It's such a gorgeous blue. It's very saturated and beautiful without being too electric or bright. It's just one of the most beautiful shades of blue. The dress I quite like. It is a custom Dior dress. It's perfectly fitted to her. The hat is spectacular. This is one of her best hats ever. I quite like the lacy V-neck panel here. It's a really beautiful addition. It reads very spring. It's very beautiful. I might have liked a slight trim to that V-neck area and perhaps a slight adjustment to the start of the skirt here. It's almost widening her across her waistline, this particular positioning of everything. I feel like that could have been improved just a tad or reined in a little bit across the waistline here before the skirt began. I don't know. It's not terrible. Overall, it's a very successful look. I really like it. I just feel like this one maybe needed a tad, just a few more days to work on it before it was ready to come out. And one of my favorites from the week was this white ensemble. She looked so classy and beautiful. I love the details, like the scalloping along the trim and along her cuffs. I love these slight puff sleeves for her. These are these feminine details that really set this look apart. I really, really liked the softness that this outfit brought. The big flower on her hat was beautiful. It was a feminine style overall that had just a little bit more flow and softness to it. Sometimes the details and silhouettes that she goes for are a little bit more straight and clean lines with simple, more fitted sleeves, which makes sense due to her style concerns of having a little bit of a bustier figure. She does need those simpler looks sometimes, but I just really like this look on her. It makes a case for wearing these puffed puff sleeves a little bit more that have a little bit more flow and movement to them, because it was just a beautiful, pretty, feminine departure in terms of adding that softness to her silhouette. Was just perfect. It was beautiful. It worked really nicely, so I hope to see her in more of these styles to sort of add in another silhouette and style sort of template that will work really nicely for her, because this was successful. On the final day, she wore this soft pink suit and cream hat. It was her calmest hat of the week, and overall it was just a lovely classic spring look here, very pretty. She paid homage to the late Queen Elizabeth with this turquoise brooch in the blue Dior look, and also with this 3-strand pearl necklace from the Queen Mother's collection, which has a purple centerpiece. I really like the embroidery detailing along the bottom of her coat here. It's a really beautiful addition, and it ties in the hat really nicely. I like that the king also wore purple accents this day to match her necklace. That was a great touch. As for the non-royals in attendance, there were some much less successful, truly tragic fashion fails. Some almost lovely ones, like these ladies here. I really, really liked these ladies' dresses. They are beautiful. They are fabulous. I really, really like them. But the problem is that they paired it up with the worst shoes you could imagine, and it doesn't work. They ruined their dresses with their shoes. They would have been some of the best dressed guests had they worn any variety of alternatives. Pumps, stilettos, these just are clunky and heavy and don't match the vibe of the dresses at all. Some of the worst dressed included this guest who, for whatever reason, paired a heavy wintry looking velvet jacket with a nude and black dress with a sheer lower skirt here. It just looked messy. It didn't go together at all. I feel bad though, because, in some cases, people who are just random attendees, this might have been the best that they had to throw together. So I'm not trying to rain on anybody's parade here, but this was a clunky mess, unfortunately. This hat was fabulously out of control, but the look as a whole is so discombobulated, it doesn't have good flow at all. It doesn't work. There are no matching elements. If it was all this sort of coral pink and that was tied in the bag and the shoe matching better, it would have been fine, but it's not. Her bag is a different color. The shoes are a little too far off from the hat, so it doesn't work. They're not working as complementary styling colors here. The hip feathers, the bag, the shoes, the hat, they're all competing for the eye. It just didn't quite work. I really quite like this brown dress. It's fitted perfectly. This is a good case for when you find a dress that's fitted perfectly, even if it's not the best color or the most exciting design, if it's fitted perfect, you will look chic, you will look polished, you will look that much better than those around you because your dress or your outfit is literally tailored to you to perfection. It makes you look well dressed instantly, and this proves it. The color is not great. It's kind of boring, kind of blah. It's not exciting, but it looks spectacular on her because she fit everything so nicely. That's all it takes. This brown polka dotted 2-piece here is not quite working. The pants look like they're maybe a little too tight across the thighs, which is unfortunate because you can see the seams puckering just a tad, so that's unfortunate. And also these shoes completely ruin everything. They are tragic. This is an interesting ensemble. I find this sort of sheer black netting to be interesting, yes, but it reads so messy to me. I don't love it. I really, really like this white dress. It looks like it fits her really nicely, but I don't love the fact that she went for pairing it with both metallics and cream colors together. I feel like she should have stuck with the 2 whites rather than throwing silver in there. It just kind of didn't work. I love this dress. Hate the shoes. She needed something a little bit more dainty with all these lace details, and the sort of open stitch crochet vibes of the dress are spectacular. I even give a pass that the cuffs are too big on her wrists. I don't care. It's beautiful. Such a beautiful piece. And then you finish it with these big clunky wedges. No. Let's put some dainty, beautiful shoes with this dainty, beautiful dress. When you have dainty details, you need dainty shoes. This pink dress looks really, really nice. It's a very interesting neckline. It's not too overdramatic. The handbag does not go. Everything is monochromatic. She should have just sprung for the handbag to match or given it to a friend to hold for her picture. The red dress looks nice. This blue dress looks okay. The details on this are just kind of heavy. They're a little bit clunky because the skirt looks heavy. The pleats are big. Then the strap bows are really big and thick. And then the hat bow is really big and thick. Perhaps a hat that had more height to it, that was a little bit more vertical style, like a jaunty angle or something, might have helped to just kind of streamline it a little bit more. This heavy hat is kind of accentuating and bringing out the heaviness of the skirt and the bows. You know, I like the direction that this outfit is going here on Francesca, but I don't like this sort of split to the lace top. It's creating a weird panel in the front and just sort of a weird design element that's catching the eye there. Ooh, Peony has a fabulous look. Pretty much all of this is chic and wonderful. I'm not loving the ruffled trim on this yellow ensemble here. It reminds me too much of textiles like rugs, but I like the color scheme. This white ensemble on Freddie is really, really nice, except it doesn't look like it's fitting her across the bust like at all. We could have done a little better there. This collection with the bright colors and bold patterns are perfect. They're well enough pulled off and well enough styled to be successes. This ombre dress is really, really interesting. I quite like that. That's really fun. And these more classic silhouettes really allow you to play around with the embellishments or texture changes or let the drama really stay to the hats. So I find it to be a lot more successful of a look when the dress itself is not too overwhelming or the look has a little bit more of a monochrome situation going on. That can really help to let the hats, which is what Ascot is all about, be the stars of the show. This is one of the most fabulous looks here. I love the lace and how it's echoed throughout the hat, and the way she posed for it just really brought it home. This blue one is also one of my favorites. It is so beautiful. Tatiana looks gorgeous here. Caroline's dress here is really, really cute. I love this Chanel dress. I feel like she could have really gone for it with the hat, something really dramatically wide brimmed, and brought in one of the fun colors from the dress, like the lime green buttons or that sort of coral orange throughout the pattern, in like a really big wide brimmed hat. Now that would have been a big style moment, really stunning, striking. But she went for this, and that's okay. Amber, unfortunately, looked quite frumpy here, and the shoes look painfully uncomfortable. Part of that is just this blazer. It doesn't go well with the dress underneath, and the dress is not fitted in a way where you could get away with the blazer having this much room throughout. It just didn't vibe. I really like Morgan Riddle's classic soft pink and cream ensemble. It looked really nice together. And Rosie Tapner's three-piece suit was super chic. Absolutely loved it. They only started allowing pantsuits a few years ago, I believe it was. So some ladies are really playing around with that. Hannah Jenkins had way too giant of man pants here. Her trousers are a little bit too voluminous, but I really love the hot pink accents that she went for. I thought that was really fun and dramatic. The polka dots. The polka dots are always some of my favorites. It is beautiful, one of the best dressed. If only Lady Amelia Spencer and her friend wore better shoes, they also would have been some of the best dressed. Fiona had such a bold attempt here. I really love the blue accessories, but the way that this looks like it's fitting across the bust line, it's reading too tight, and she looks uncomfortable the way she posed for this picture. It might have just been the angle. If she were standing up straight, it might not have looked like it was too tight there. So if it weren't for that, this would have been such an interesting and fabulous look, for sure. Rosie Tapner was one of the best dressed ladies all throughout the week, honestly. In this dress here and hat, it is all so perfect. I would wear this. I would like to have it. Everything about it is fabulous. The slight little bits of sparkle throughout. The silhouette is perfection. It clearly fits her nicely. She had it tailored. I love the choice of shoes. This is a good example illustrating that it's better to go for slightly darker shoes than too light on the shoe in a lot of cases, especially if you have a lighter dress. So this was a really great example of that and just looked beautiful overall. It was a fabulous choice. These polka dots with the wide brimmed hat, absolute perfection. Never go wrong with that. Notably well dressed, not quite best dressed, but really, really nicely dressed here. We have so many beautiful pink notes and colors. We had some who took their hats to a whole new level. I really like this peacock hat on Claire Frank, but the dress looks far too tight. I really wanted to put Veronica's day one look on best dressed because the open stitch work is really on trend right now. It's beautiful. The hat, the jewelry, the bag are perfect. I love so much about this. But the buttons look like they're pulling and gaping and spreading apart. And this could have been fixed with fashion tape or basting stitches. Otherwise, it's glorious. I also really like Victoria's floral dress here with the black gloves and accents. The hat is amazing, but the heavy shoulder bows are way too bulky. They really took away from the dress and the look overall. They're like hanging down and you're like, what is that hanging there? If it weren't for those, it would have been really, really nice. Also, she could have had it hemmed a little shorter and shown off some like beautiful black pumps or Mary Jane heels, something like that would have been nice. Or just swapping that ribbon out for something much thinner would have worked as well. Some of the best dressed non-royal attendees include Betty Bax here. This is stunning, except I don't love the Bailey's bag. That feels tacky next to this gorgeous suit. A clutch that matched the hat would have been way better. It would have tied in the outfit so much nicer. So I don't love that, but the suit itself is fabulous. This black and yellow outfit is quite successful too. It's a silhouette that can be really tricky, having that sort of tunic length top, but she pulled it off really nicely. She also had a lovely floral look here. While I love the spirit of this couple's outfits here, the dress feels far too evening for Ascot. The hat is really on point, literally peacocking, but it should have been with something more chic and daytime. Worst dressed moment here, this green hat is fine, but the frumpy suit is a no. This oversized suit is looking really, really messy, like you're wearing your dad's blazer, playing dress up, something like that. Oversized does need to look intentional. It can't just look like this, where it doesn't look intentional. It needs to rein in somewhere, or at least not be eating your hands and your feet and dragging on the floor. Because you literally can't function that way. So that's why it immediately looks dumb, because it's like everybody knows you're not going to be able to walk. I really like the pink and orange together in this look, but the pink is more cool toned and the orange is more obviously warm toned, so they don't really work quite well enough together in my opinion here. But regardless, the dress itself is so wrinkly that it sank the entire look immediately. We also didn't just have eye-catching hats, we had eye-catching sunglasses here. These are really snazzy. They work great with the look overall. This flowed together beautifully. And this look here is really nice, but I just don't love these gold shoes. I don't feel like they work well enough with this. Otherwise, it was really, really nice. Ascot always brings us some of the best and most spectacular looks. What was your favorite of the non-royals and your favorite of the royals? And what was your least favorite look that you saw? Thank you so much for joining me for this special fashion edition. I hope you have a very happy day ahead, and I will see you next time. Bye!